Hey guys, Erito here. Welcome to another LMU video where apparently I have become a bit of a bandit, only for one corner, but yeah, it was not a great moment. In this video I'm gonna just give you a bit of an update on my thoughts on LMU and how I feel, so hope you enjoy. Let's go. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to apologize because I recorded this whole race with the wrong OBS settings. So not only it's a low resolution, well, kinda. I play at 1080p because I have triples and all that, but I upscale it to 1440p and a high bitrate so that I can upload to YouTube at higher bitrate. And let's just see this start first, because people need to be a little more chill when it comes to turn 1 Sebring. Everyone just sends it like they want to win at the first corner. Anyways, as I was saying, I recorded with the wrong settings. This is very low bitrate and only 1080p that I'm gonna upscale in editing like I usually do for some things. But yeah, that's why it looks a little more pixelated than usual. But I rewatched the whole race and it's actually not too bad. Hopefully you can read the overlays fine enough. I know the minimap is a bit too small and I'll need to figure all of that out. I set up my overlays while the qualifying was going on because I forgot, because I changed my settings and the in-game UI is actually on my side monitors. So I had to add this so that you get some of the information. So with that out of the way, I hope the video is still watchable enough. That will all be fixed for the next one. And speaking of that, after a few of these races I actually got out of bronze safety rating, so I can actually go race some other series now. And actually, that gets us to the main point, which is how I've been feeling about the game. And I have to say, the GTE cars are currently my second favorites on LMU. My favorites being the hypercars. But I very much dislike this track, at least on iRacing. And I don't know what it is with these cars. I actually started to enjoy this track as I was doing a few of these races. I do actually have another 2 of these races recorded, but they didn't have as much action. They were just me staying in one position and some people spinning out and me gaining freebies. So this was the most interesting one. It unfortunately also the one that I recorded wrong, but it is what it is. And yeah, I've really been enjoying these cars. They handle pretty well. They're pretty fast. I tend to like the faster cars anyways. I still have to get some practice in with the LMP2, because I do prefer downforce cars. That's why I drive mostly Formula on iRacing. So yeah, the game feels pretty good. I'm now more used to the handling. I also continued doing some of the races last week with the AMG at Spa. And even though I know the car didn't have a good setup, whatever, but I still had a good fun, as that guy almost rear-ends me. They were fun races. I did get a bit higher on the ranks, so I wasn't always at the front. I had pace because Spa is one of my favorite tracks, so I naturally have quite a decent amount of pace there compared to other tracks. I'm still terrible, don't get me wrong, but yeah. So we spend a bit of time behind these two. I eventually do make a move on the Aston, and shortly after is when I do a bit of banditry. It was completely an accident, but you know, I just misjudged. Anyways, that's how LMU is going for me. I did today go back and do a bit of practice the GT3s on iRacing, and now that I'm used to these, they feel very different. I still enjoy them more. I actually still don't like the GT3s in general on LMU. The GTE is definitely much better, in my opinion. I hope they continue doing more of these races with this car. And yeah, so there's gonna be a 6-hour, or there, I think one of the splits already happened because I record this voiceover, and by the time this is uploaded, there probably has been the other races as well, where they are testing the driver slots. And I heard that the race itself went pretty well. They only had a few issues on players joining, but they fixed it quickly, and that's great. Love to see it. I hope in the future I will participate in a few enduros once I have more practice, and if someone wants to join in. I did just yesterday updated my livery for the Valkyrie when I eventually get to race it. I went very basic because I really like the way they do the materials and the shaders for the cars and basically the graphics. And the setting up the maps for where each region is like carbon fiber and what material it's made of. I love that system. And I set my car to carbon fiber, all of it. And wow, I really liked the black look of the Aston, just completely black. So what I did was, instead of doing my usual livery that I do for iRacing, I just used the original, some of the edge lines that they use in the Aston Martin livery, and I set them to one of my accent colors, which is a orange gradient. That's what I did for the Aston, basically just that, just a stealth look that I ended up really liking. It's very basic and it's easy to do, but I liked it, so I'm sticking with it. If I make liveries for other cars, I'm probably gonna do my usual white on black with the teal color in the middle, and the gradient orange is the accent color. But yeah, very happy with the game right now. I hope they keep doing well, and I hope you stick with the race and see what happens. there's also another thing that happens right at the end that it actually gave me a free position in the end, but you'll see what happens if you stick around. And yeah, enjoy the video. I will see you in the next one. I don't know what it will be. It will depend on the weather, if I'm literally melting here or not. I do kind of want to do Super Formula in iRacing again. But yeah, we'll see. Enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.